It's the Oracle.
All right, we live now. Chat number 2 with Hassan Khaffaf.
Woo! Perfect timing. Perfect time. You see that in the back?
It's about to play.
Woo! I ain't playing the music though. I ain't playing the music, so we can just start vibing. What's up, y'all? It's Hassan. We in here. Look at this background on the guard. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stanley Kubrick. Shout out to my man MP, Uncommon Shamans. You know what I mean? We out here, LA. A little bit of a time difference, but I appreciate him working with me. You know what I mean? So we here vibing.
All right, so why don't you give a little people your background? What do you do exactly? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Florida. That's how I know my man. Whoa, what's going on? What's with that lagging?
Probably gonna do that a little bit.
No, I hear what I just got there saying.
It's probably mad delayed. We got viewers though, so keep it up.
Oh, wait a minute, where are we playing it at? Oh yeah, see, I gotta exit this because I'm listening to that. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we on. Look at this fucking video though.
Yeah, the viewer was you though.
Oh, the viewer was me?
One of the viewers. I don't know. We got a couple, but
I'm still texting.
It's not be extremely
Anyway.
boring. All right, so what's your background?
So my background from Florida. My father was born in Iraq. Mesopotamia. We beginning civilization. You know what I'm saying? I know this. I know you from Florida. We've been rocking for a long time. Now I'm in LA. Doing music. Music producer. Rocking with good music. Kanye. That whole world. So just vibes. You know what I mean? That's how we make these cool videos in the back.
What's that? What's the video in the back? Give them.
Yeah. So this is basically an instrumental album that I'm doing through G.O.O.D with my management team and everybody over there. It's basically kind of like a Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd type of vibe meets J Dilla Donuts, somewhere in between Dilla Donuts and Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. And it's 9 songs because 2016, 6 + 2 + 1 = 9. 9 holes on the body, number of completion. So I want to roll with 9 tracks. I decided to pair it up with Stanley Kubrick's Space Odyssey 2001, which is what's playing behind me. Kind of like how they linked up Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz. Regardless if they did it on purpose or not, it's just cool that it kind of like serendipitously connected. So that's what I'm doing with the instrumentals to sync up with Stanley, but then also correlate it with different things of today. So I kind of find it funny that Adam and Eve took a bite out the apple. Steve Jobs decided to make that his logo. So things like that.
So from knowing you personally, I knew when you used to get driven to school, your dad used to play, I think you said it was 3 different CDs, right? So explain how that kind of gave you the philosophy of your life.
Yeah. I mean, I was young, so I don't think I consciously was aware, but I think subconsciously it was like a lot of these seeds that were being planted, and thank God somebody watered them later on, because if not, they would have just been seeds that were dormant. But my father definitely, listening to The Secret and understanding the law of attraction and understanding, speaking things into fruition. The tongue could bring life or death. Which it all correlates to also the Bible, correlates to the Quran, which You know, my father was Muslim, and my mother is Christian. So the polarizing juxtaposition that is, I'm just playing the same video over and over. But it's dope. So, yeah, it's just like an interesting polarizing position to be put in, and like, you know, understand both cultures, understand both religions, and understand that Jesus is mentioned more in the Quran than he is in the Bible. So, you know.
Yeah, you just came from church, right?
Yeah.
I know you from knowing you, I know you talk about Jesus a lot. And you how would you say, because I know the Bible gets a lot of, you know, a lot of people are on the fuck religion shit right now. And I think religion is anything you do religiously. But it gets a lot of negative, I guess there's a lot of negativity right now. But how would you say it helped you as far as the path you ended up taking, and I guess achieving what you wanted to achieve, manifesting what you wanted to manifest?
Yeah, I think
like, do you believe that it's as negative as people say it is?
no, I think anything that brings you peace is positive. You know, I think at the end of the day, it's like if you worship a lamp and that brings calm to you, do it. Because it's like, it's not my job, you know, I'm not concerned about like the semantics of it. It's more of just like, how can you be the best version of you, and how can you like help? So like, however you can help, you know, do what you got to do in order to be like productive and helpful, you know. And as a kid, because there was so much argument between, you know, Islam and Christianity, for me, I was like, whoever this Jesus guy is, I don't like him because it caused so much like turmoil in my family. But then I grew to understand that anyone who could be hated that much, or you could have that much like hate, it's really the same as love. Love and hate is extremely similar. It's when you don't care is when you should be worried. You know, I know when my girl don't yell at me, I'm very scared.
Yeah, because then they're, you know, they lost that emotion pretty much.
Yeah. And passion, you know, passion and ambition is like, you know, I get in trouble a lot of times for being ambitious. And people will like call me names and say like, oh, well, he's a opportunist or he's this. And I say, well, look, let's make one thing clear. I'm definitely not a cartoonist. So, you know what I mean? That's number one. Number two is that, you know, you can't be mad at ambition for long. You can be like, yo, like, I don't really like that way he pulled that. But then you sit on it for a couple of weeks and be like, you know what? Dude is ambitious though. How long you gonna be mad at ambition for?
Yeah, if you're smart, at a certain point, you're gonna want to jump on the train. I mean, you're gonna be like, I'm getting left.
That, but you just gonna say, you know what? I gotta commend that, and I gotta say, you know what we doing? Like, you finna die, G. Like, go. Like, ain't no like, yo, I don't really like the way this went down, or da da da. It's like, man, understand that when you in war, ain't no time for us to explain it. If you say get down to me, or I say get down to you, you should just get down. Because there might, you know, there might be a bullet that you can't see that I can see. You know, and a lot of times in life, I look at like, sometimes I feel like I get shot in the foot. And I say, damn, God, why'd you just let this person shoot me in the foot? Now I'm bleeding. I got to bend down and cater to this foot that just got shot. I was trying to walk all the way here to do something for somebody. I was actually on a mission for someone else. And then a lot of times we be like, man, I shouldn't have done that for him. You know, I shouldn't have went on this mission for that person because I wouldn't have got shot in the foot. But then I realized while I was bending down to take care of my foot, 100 bullet shots went across my head. And if I wouldn't have been bending down, I'd have got shot in the head. So it's like, a lot of times you just got to understand that there's, you know, the patience of Job. You got to understand that you got to be calm, you got to be relaxed. And that's why meditation is so important. That's why Russell and all these people practice meditation, because it's so much static, right? It's just static in the world we live in. So as much as you can like dilute the static, because you can never really stop it. But if you can just dilute it and kind of like yield it, you know, for a little bit, then it's like, it's the moments of clarity. Shout out to Hov.
I feel like a lot of people, I mean, besides the negative self-talk, they just don't have, they don't have, I would say it's a lack of imagination, and they just don't believe. They don't really have the faith. So I was like, you've accomplished almost everything you set out to do. Like, what would you say?
Everything. No, you can say everything.
So what would you say, like, how did you consciously go into it? Did you just, at first, did you not know what you were doing? Or just to give the people kind of like...
It's still going on right now. I just did 6 things just this past weekend. You know, the simple fact that, like, you know, I was just telling my man, I was like, yo, you know, yeah, Kanye just had a pop-up shop this weekend on Fairfax. And let me let this beautiful hair out. He had a pop-up shop on Fairfax, and there was kids waiting there from Saturday morning all the way until Sunday night, slept there, you know, and not to be holier than thou, because guess what? If I didn't have the blessing and the luxury of walking up to the front door and then someone coming out and being like, oh, yo, Hassan, come in. You know, if that wouldn't have happened, I'd have been sleeping there too. So what I'm saying is like, is never to get twisted. Like, there's favor. God does give favor. That's why people say like, yo, I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you? So don't get it twisted. There is favor, and there is God's anointment. Steph Curry, that boy Steph Curry is anointed. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that. Like, not to sound like ego, because the ego is not your amigo. But it is an anointment that I genuinely, like, I feel like I have. Because I don't feel like I have talent. I have no talent. And people get so mad when I say that. My management people who are like putting things behind me, they really hate when I say that, but I don't. It's because I stay up until my eyes are bloodshot. It's because I have amazing people around me 24/7, like my good brother right now. Like, there's people that's always around that's plugging in the energy. Right now, if you didn't call me and say, yo, do this thing, I'd have been laying down, jagging off or something. But you was like, yo, get on your square. My man just came back into town. Yo, let's get on the square. We got to stay being each other's crutches. Again, hope. What is it? You never fall. You never fall, because we'll be each other's crutches. Like, it's really important to have a supporting system, and you have to create that system. It ain't finna just knock on your door like, yo, here you go. You gotta be moving. The universe wants to see you move. When you stare up in the sky at night and see the stars, you don't hear them, you see them. So the universe does the same with us. They don't hear us saying, I want to be a producer. I want to be a rapper. I want to get signed. I'll do anything to be on TV. They don't hear you. They just see you. Just like we see the stars. You don't think stars having conversations? You don't think stars saying a bunch of shit too? You know what I mean? But we don't hear them. We only see. So you got to show and you got to move. Because if you laying down, jagging off and saying, I want to be on TV, universe saying, oh, he looks fine. He's sitting down, jagging off. He looks comfortable. I'm not going to bother him. Because they can't hear you, G. They can't hear you. It's too far. They got to be able to see you and see you shine like them stars shine. So you gotta move. Because the universe wants to help you. The universe is like water. It wants to move with the flow. it wants to get out your way, but you just gotta get up and go. And I know it. People's like, well, it ain't that simple, because it's not. Trust me, I've been blessed. So I'm not saying it is easy, because I've had a lot of cheat codes in my life. I randomly met someone who grew up with Kanye, you know. So yeah, which was through MySpace, and it was random. You know, it's 50-50. I'm not saying it's just like, hey, some people aren't destined to win. And I know it's negative, but I don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure what I'm saying. I'm not selling no dream. I'm not doing no, like, I don't know what the answer is. But I'm just saying, you know, just my personal opinion on it. You know what I mean? So
I always describe it like this, like, you have a thought, you put the thought out there, it's there lingering, but we're like magnetic, and magnets don't connect until you get closer to it. So it's like you said, you do have to put the action in. Otherwise, you're not going to connect to that thought. Like, you have to go out there and reach out to the dude on MySpace in order to get close. You can't just wait and think that this dude's going to hit you up. The chances of him even knowing who you are like slim to none. But if you do message him, you know what I mean? Now he knows who you are.
And my thing, what I would say is figure out how many ways you can be an asset, so you're not just a liability. You know what I mean? Like, let me tell you something. If I would have said all I could do is rap, I would have never met Kanye. Never in a million years would I don't think. Maybe, who knows? Maybe this is all predestined, which I do think that too, so I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I had other tools to pull out of the toolbox. You can't just have one sword. You know what I mean? You gotta steel sharpen steel. You gotta make sure that you got, you know, different size knives for the job. You know what I mean? Like, if you're fighting you
gotta MacGyver it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta MacGyver it. And just because you got a huge fucking sword, that ain't gonna do nothing for MacGyver. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a little screwdriver sword. You need a little, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why Wu-Tang was so dope. Because, like, RZA was, like, really Bobby Digital. He was really, like, he understood. That's why there was so many of the Wu. Because they all was their own sword. Like, Raekwon was
different style.
Yeah, Raekwon was something. And, you know, Method Man. So, you know, it was really like the Ninja Turtles and shit.
So, like, I know from knowing you, and, like, you literally, you had to you gotta, you know, eat, sleep, drink, breathe, kind of what you want to attract. Would you say, like what's kind of your process? Say there's a new thought you have, just to kind of give these people like a little bit of a shortcut, I guess, or just so they hear a different perspective, because a lot of people don't believe that you can manifest things. They don't really believe. I mean,
yeah.
Like, what would you say is kind of like, say you have a thought. Do you have a vision board? Do you have a? Because I always say this to people too. Watch who you follow on Instagram too, because that's who you're that's who you're implanting into your subconscious. So if you're following some bullshit, you know what I mean? You can constantly waking up and looking at bullshit every day. That ain't gonna help you out. Like, what would you say is your kind of formula?
I mean, before I answer that, this is the most lit live stream of all time, because the way I'm lit and the way these videos are being projected behind, it looks incredible on here.
Yeah, this is on my second stream, but now I've been like put to shame. I gotta get a better background.
This is like next fucking level.
I'm about to do the next stream at the zoo or some shit.
Reality type shit.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, the way it looks on the fucking computer is so crazy.
It's like
dark in here. Dark in here, it'd be even more lit.
Tell them what video that is and where they can see it.
Oh yeah, this is Safe video number 2. There's 2 versions of Safe. So if you watch this one, it's very important you watch the first one, because the first one is all natural, raw, one shot,
Beyonce shit?
Untouched. Yeah. And then this one is digital. So the reason why they're both very important is because it shows you the juxtaposition of natural God elements, and then this is digitalized technological you know, whoever's the opposite of God version.
Organic versus GMO.
Exactly, organic versus GMO. Thank you very much for that. I like that. So it's very important, you know, you check both of them. But this one's on Vimeo. Just type in Hassan Safe. Yeah, you have a good time with that. But you're watching it now, so it's good.
So basically,
Oh, yeah.
the original question was just your formula. What would you kind of give a breakdown? Because you could give them your entire formula, but still people still won't be able to. It's not like you're giving out something.
No, we need to give it out. You know, that's the one thing I didn't like about Steve. You know, Steve died with all the ideas in his head. Elon Musk.
Yeah, because not everybody can copy it, even if you give them the formula anyway. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are afraid of that, to get, you know, to give their. I mean, I always say we're here to spread, we're here to get wisdom, but we got to give the knowledge away too, because otherwise, what's the point? If you just sit there, we wouldn't develop language at that point then.
Hey, no one's able to get into the stream, bro. You fucking up. I got 6 people texting me they can't get in.
Why? Are they trying to join it, or they're just trying to watch it? You should be able to watch it. You were listening to it before.
What link? The link that you just gave me, 3 people just hit me and said, I can't do nothing.
That's just to watch it, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what they want to do. No, she sent me a thing and said, this live, what?
It's up. I'm watching on YouTube right now.
No, look, she wrote, this live event will begin in a few moments.
Really? I mean, it's up on my shit. Look.
All right, anyway, okay. So, yeah. So the answer is, my bad, hold on.
See it work. There's 2 people watching it. Well, that's anyway.
Can they talk?
Nah, that's the thing. We only us can talk right now.
Okay, all right, cool, it's fine. So here we go. So ask me again one more time, my bad.
Just the formula. What's your formula? What's your shortcut process from doing it for so long now? To
doing what?
To just manifest what you like. How do you? There
you go. There you go. Yeah. There you go. So it's called reality distortion. You gotta believe the shit so much that you just create that world. You have to literally create the world you want to live in. It's like Inception, right? When they used to play the music and go to sleep, I do that. When I go to sleep at night, I play Dark Side of the Moon. I used to play Kanye's albums. So, you know, when I woke up, I had all these codes. You know what I'm saying? Because music, at the end of the day, you know, Lucifer was in charge of the music in the heavens. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like power within the music and codes and like understanding things. So vibrational chakras, all of that. So you have to really embody the codes. Like I'm a walking computer now for certain things. I'm like a Wikipedia on what I said that I wanted to do when I was 15 years old after listening to College Dropout. And there's no test that anyone can give me that I wouldn't pass on the information that I claim to be a scholar in. No one. So if you say you want to be a mountain climber, don't talk to me wearing swimming trunks, because I don't never see you at the mountain. If you want to climb mountains, get the proper gear to climb mountains. I talk to so many people on a daily basis. I want to be in a studio. I want to be a producer, but they never at studios. I don't know.
It's comparable to in the Matrix, where they just watch, where he sits in the chair and he's plugging in different programs. Basically, is what you're saying. You can do it in real life.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
my ambition. My ambition is so crazy. I'm being managed by someone, right? I'm not gonna get into all the logistics, but I'm just saying I'm being managed right now by someone who's a great guy, right? And he runs this place. I forgot that I was being managed by him and almost asked for an internship. at the studio the other day. And I'm at the studio working already. In the studio working on stuff. And I was about to ask for an internship. That's how much I love this shit. That's how much I'm like, yo, whatever got to get done, whatever I got to do to be around this energy, because it's an energy. You should have to pay to be around certain people's energy. You should have to pay actual money, I believe, to be around that type of euphoria.
You're doing away. They're already doing away.
Yeah, they already do. You're absolutely right.
You go see Stephen Curry play.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. Exactly. Amen. Amen. Or waiting in line. Waiting in line for 2 days on Fairfax. Yeah, that's money. That's time. You're absolutely right. So, but I agree with that because there. Go ahead.
No, I said yeah. No, you're making a point. Like we do pay, and we should.
You should because, or if you don't want to pay, if you don't have money, you could. What I'm getting at is you can always pay with time. You know, I just read a thing at church today about Martha and Mary. Jesus was there speaking, and Martha was all worried about hospitality and making sure Jesus had everything. Make sure the meal is ready, cooking the meal, setting the room, making sure his bedroom was good for him to sleep in, getting all this stuff together for him, running around. And Mary didn't do anything. But she did everything because she just sat down and listened to Jesus talk. And Jesus was like, thank you, Martha, for all this, but you still messed up because you didn't stop and just live in the moment. We're always so worried about this schedule that we have, right? Like we wake up, and if you're like somewhat of an organized person, you know what I'm saying? You have like an agenda and you have a plan, right, of the day. But then God comes and is like, what about this? And what about that? And it like throws off your plan, right? But it's because whatever you're doing, just be all the way immersed in it. Engulf yourself in whatever it is that's in front of you at that moment. The best thing you can do is just be. Everyone's like, I want to be this. I want to be that. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be in it. Just be. And that's why Common's album is one of the best albums. Because it's like, yo, you really just have to be. If you washing the dishes, wash the fuck out of those dishes. If you want to be a gangster rapper, be the most gangsters rapper. If you want to be a dork rapper, be the ultimate dork. Just do you to the most fullest ability.
The movies show you it. Even Step Brothers. Remember, he wants to be the dinosaur with the little arms and shit.
Yeah.
It's you gotta embody it. You gotta embody whatever.
You gotta embody, like Drake. You know, all hail to the Six God. Hotline Bling video. He finally embraced his.
He did the Eminem trick.
Yeah, the Eminem to the 8 Mile joint. If you use your truth against you, no one else can use it against you.
That's real.
That's why I'm about to put out a song. I love Kanye. I'm about to do this whole Kanye West song thing because it's like anytime I ever do anything, it's like, oh, this is Ye, this is Ye. And even though I've worked with him on the management company, all this stuff, it's never gonna go away until you just like you gotta own it. You know what I mean? You gotta embody it. Like, yeah, I'm his sperm. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's all good. Like, so you just gotta own it. Because then no one else, what you gonna say?
What would you say is one of the, what is some keys you learned from working in the studio with people at Good Music or just people in the music business in general? Like what were some of the things you took to heart and the things that made you really wake up to this shit?
I think let me get another visual because I want to get one more visual looking thing. I'm gonna play the original sake.
Like you've been in some sessions where you know they were writing. I think you were Yeezus, right? You were on a couple of sessions where they wrote Yeezus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple What other? Well, I guess just from that, what did you've been in? Because you were in the studio with a lot of different people. The comedian Aziz, like
Yeah, he was there for the Yeezus sessions. I think, yeah, I think more than anything is like a couple of things, right? I think the number one thing is you know, I think a lot of people always say like, yo, man, when does it get easier? When does it get easier? You know, like when do you just start rolling? And when, you know, it's like, yo, let me tell you something. And this ain't from me. This is from people who got Grammys and shit. It don't never get easier. Hopefully, you just get better at doing the hard shit.
yeah, you can stand up when that wave come, and the wave don't knock you down as
it don't knock you down as much, but it never gets easier. It never gets easier, ever. So like, if you waiting for that, go get a job, because it don't ever get easier. That's number one on the.
which is a major jewel though, right there, because people think it gets easy for people. Like after
all we got is jewelry over here. You know, the second thing
say
is
like Khaled. How did you say it?
Julie. I got so much Julie. Julie. I got so much Julie.
Khaled kind of copied you. Khaled's 2.0 of DJ Khaled. You're the original Khaled. And the original Rob Dyrdek.
Let me tell you something. I've met a lot of people. I don't want to meet Khaled. I love DJ Khaled, man. Shout out to Florida. But and then I think the other thing that's very important is understand that conversation is key, right? So information, education, it's key. It's key to be able to make a song, write a book, create a t-shirt, anything. You need information. Now, here's the difference. Data is a lot different than information. You can give me a hard drive full of fucking data and only have 1 megabyte of information. A lot of people are concerned about data. Yo, I'm going out to network for data. But data not going to help you. It's going to, you know what it's going to do? It's going to make your computer overloaded and then freeze. And then you got to get a bunch of hard drives to store all this data. Fuck data. I'm not into data. I'm into streamline information. I don't need 1,000 people knowing what I'm doing. I need about 12. Just like Jesus.
I was about to say Jesus.
I had a meeting and someone was like, yo, your Twitter followers are low. Your Instagram followers are low. I said, cool. So if I go and get 12 and come back, then will you sign me? And they said, 12? What do you mean? Like 12,000, 12 million? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, nah, 12. My man JC had 12, and I think that should suffice. And it's like, you know, it's like, what are we concerned about? Are we concerned about the data or the information? And I'm an information guy. I'm cool on just having like random, like, you know, people's phone numbers, you know, in my phone. I'm not really with the jazz.
Yeah, because the data could be false.
It could be false. It could be corrupted data, and then it fucks up your whole computer. It could be it's a lot of things with data, man. Like, you know, so you got to streamline your information and say no to data. You know, and you know, conversation, man. You know, during the easy sessions that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, tell the story about, you told me yesterday just about the
yeah. So we were there. You know, I don't want to speak too much on names and stuff like that because, you know, everything is sworn secrecy, and I'm blessed to be even.
You don't gotta drop any names, just
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna give you the idea, right? So, because I'm just blessed to even be a fly on the wall, you know, especially that was 3 years ago at that time, and I was I was in that room probably, you know, even though I'm around and I'm affiliated, I was probably in that room by the skin of my teeth. So I, you know, all love to everybody and everything. So that's number one. Yeah, just conversation, man. You know, to see the genius of being able to put people in a room that would never be in a room together. It's genius. Like, you know, people want to say all these things about dude and, you know, not just Kanye, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, any of these people, right? And the genius thing is to be able to put, you know, Mr. Hudson maybe, who's from like, you know, the UK, in the room with Rick Ross, who's from Miami, like, you know, Dade County or some shit. Like, these two people would never hang out. They would never like be like just vibing, like, you know what I mean? So to be able to put those type of minds and those type of lives, you know, the life that both of them have maybe lived, and it's probably a polar opposite experience. To be able to put 12 of those types of people in a room to work on one product, you know, of course it's going to connect to millions of people because you have different perspectives. So, you know, 12 different people's perspective on love, you know, you're covering a lot of perspectives. So I think that I've learned to be able to not be married to ideas. I never get married to an idea, contrary to popular belief. And a lot of people who work with me think that I do. I just think I have sometimes really good ideas, but I don't get married to them. I say, hey, what do you think about this idea? Yeah, I like it, but I think we can make it better, Hassan. You know what? Even if I'm combative at first, guess what happens when I go to sleep that night? I look at the wall, and then I think and I say, you know what? There's my opinion, his opinion, and the truth's opinion. And I am stubborn, but I'm not stupid. And I sometimes have to say, you know what? You're right. You're right. I was wrong. You're right. That's a better idea. Let's roll with it. Let's bring it to the light. And that's it. You can't be married to ideas.
That's another big thing. I think people don't really embrace change. They're so afraid of change. And I remember you said, like, from when you first moved to LA and to now, so much has changed. Like, you want to get into like what happened when you first got to LA? Like, I remember you saying you didn't even really have a place to stay.
Yeah, hold on one second. Yeah.
But you didn't let that, like, you didn't know. You mean you didn't come right home. You didn't say, fuck it, I'm just gonna come home.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna sit and like paint the nothing to something story, because like I said, I've always been very blessed and I've been very lucky, and I haven't had to deal with a lot of things that a lot of people do have to deal with. So I'm not gonna sit here and like make up this hold on one second, I'm trying to play this. Make up this like Jay-Z Martian Project story. But yeah, I mean, it's you know, I've never, you know, I had no one in my family that's ever, you know, been in this industry, ever done music, you know, ever, you know, we're the first, you know, I'm the first generation to, you know, come out here to LA. And, you know, we have no, you know, there's no uncles or cousins or like, you know, a lot of people, you'd be surprised. There's like these hidden cousins and uncles that like are
pretty much everybody.
Yeah, and that's cool. I'm not like knocking nobody. That's dope. Like, that's a blessing. Like,
yeah, it just shows you it goes into DNA.
Yeah, like somebody like went to bat for you. That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, in a direct way. Not saying that my parents didn't go to bat. I'm just saying like in a direct, like, yo, I fought.
They did it in your profession already, so you kind of got a little bit. You know,
yeah,
like
so,
Kobe's dad already played in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's dope. You know what I mean? Like, but so I'm just saying, yeah, everything has been straight from like, yeah, just the hustle and the moving and the grinding and God, you know what I mean? So it has been an experience for the past 6 years. From starting my internship with Nick Cannon to being able to meet, you know, T Mills, Tracy Mills, who now works over at Donda with Kanye and Yeezy team and everything. And so I've known him all those years, and so from that to this to that to this, it's been a cool evolution and process for sure to be able to like go from completely knowing nobody, you know, to now, you know, being able to literally call, text, or email definitely all of my idols and people that I, you know, studied for a long time, but basically anyone who's really important in music business.
Would you say that, well, obviously you would say this, but when you start getting like when you're on the right path, everything kind of starts to fit like a puzzle piece. Would you agree? Like all these synchronicities start just coming out of nowhere, like connects that you wouldn't even, puzzle pieces you wouldn't even think would fit together, start to fit together.
1,000%. I mean, it's just the intangibles. You know, it's like when Dennis Rodman jumps into the crowd to save the ball. That's not on the stat sheet. Nobody wakes up the next day, drinks their coffee, and reads in the newspaper, oh, he got 10 rebounds, 6 steals, 12 points. Oh, and he dove in the 7th row to save the ball. That's not on the stat sheet. That gets cut out of the stat sheet. But guess what? Him saving the ball and then Michael Jordan getting a slam dunk on the other end caused the arena to go crazy. And that's what made them go on an 8-0 run to win the game. You know what I mean? So it's the intangibles sometimes that don't make the stat sheet and don't make the newspaper that are, you know, game-changing, energy-shifting, you know, moments. And that's a lot of times, you know, when you're on your right path and when you're having deja vu and you're like, okay, I'm on the right path, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, you know, these intangible things happen, you know, and that's why you have to really be in the moment and you have to just be, because you'll feel it, you'll know, you know, you'll feel it in your gut. That's why they say if you feel it in your gut, the gut was the original brain. So that's why you have to be very careful what you feed your stomach and your gut, because that's your brain. When you eat certain things, you feel foggy because there's so many nerves in your stomach. That's why doctors say, well, you don't have the stomach for this, because it's you know, it's the mind. It's the original mind.
Didn't you say you just ate meat for the first time?
Yeah. Just it's been about like 4 or 5 months. So yeah, feel bad. Feel pretty bad.
That's what happens, man. Yeah. For people that haven't tried eating clean yet, it is rough. And you come back to eating shitty, and you're gonna get fucked up big time.
Yeah, I mean, out here in LA, it's actually very easy to eat good. It's just
more out there.
It's more of like scheduling and timing. If you don't schedule and you're not organized, then you're gonna fuck up. But as far as
and fight with somebody today saying the hardest thing is to eat clean on the road when you touring and stuff.
Oh, forget about it. I couldn't even imagine.
Nothing but gas stations, and they got convenience stores. Convenience is normally trash. If you're doing anything for your convenience, it means you're taking the shortcut.
Right. I hear that.
I have this quote here because I want to go into the creative process. It says the biggest obstacle of creativity is breaking through the barrier of disbelief. And you were kind of touching on that earlier about how you kind of.
I'm gonna turn the light on.
Kind of got to live in a world where
you gotta see this exclusive. You gotta see this exclusive. You gotta see this. You gotta see this.
Salmon colored.
It's that Real Friends. This is they didn't even sell this joint. This is the Real Friends. Boom, how many of us? You see that or not?
Yeah. That's exclusive from the pop-up shop.
Exclusive from the pop-up shop. You ain't never seen it. Hold on, let me see what else I got. You know, I gotta show you this one. It's for the kids.
Turned into a fashion show real quick.
This for the kids right here. Shout out to Donda. Woo!
The airbrush?
You know it. Shout out to Rob on the back.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? A couple pieces for you, but yeah.
So the quote was saying basically how you gotta break the barrier of disbelief and imagining pretty much that the world that you think would be fake, you gotta assume that's the real world for yourself. So how what's your creative process like? Like, I know you kind of like to do it big, like you having a symphony on every track almost, orchestra. How do you approach your creative process?
Ooh, that real French joint looking hard.
Oh, here, real quick. Do you feel like you get better thoughts, cleaner process with the longer hair?
Oh yeah, you know Samson. You know that bitch made Samson cut his hair, and
Yeah.
he was out the game.
And Avatar, and Native Americans even.
Yeah. No, I think, even when, hold on one second.
Had the long hair not too long ago too. Finally, he didn't cut it for like 3 years.
Hold on, I gotta make this aesthetic better. Hold on. This aesthetic is not the way. Yeah, let's get
NHL, they even do it. They grow their hair out.
Right, this is the salt lamp. You don't want to play yourself. You always want to have the salt lamp on deck.
Catching the good vibes. Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt. Let me make sure it's in the shot. Yeah, we're gonna just go straight salt lamp. We're gonna turn this back off. We're gonna go just straight salt lamp on. Woo! Oh yeah. Now it's just a straight salmon orange vibe.
Does Stephen Curry play in the Oracle?
He does. So yeah, here we go.
That's a little crazy right there.
It is the Oracle. Okay. So what's the question?
I don't even remember.
My creative process.
About the hair. Well, the hair, but I guess we kind of touched on it. You were gonna go on the. How do you feel better with the long hair? More creative with the longer hair. And when you cut your hair, do you notice a difference?
I think I just think it's like a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just like a vibe, my joint likes it, you know what I mean? So, whatever vibe she likes,
I noticed the chicks kind of low key, they always love the longer hair. When you don't cut the hair, it's kind of like it's an attitude even. It's like, oh, that dude don't give a fuck, and they like a dude that don't give a fuck to a certain extent.
Because look, I'll tell you this one thing, right? Me, for example, like for you to be able to look like this, you got to either be a multimillionaire or you homeless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It shows.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
It's like a vibe. That's the vibe. Exactly. It's like this dude obviously is doing something.
Like this dude obviously does not.
Even if you're homeless, you're one of the most bravest people possible. Because being homeless is like nobody wants to be homeless.
Yeah, it's true. So now the projection's on my chest and my face, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, creative process. I mean,
from that we'll go into creative process.
Yeah, so creative process is just like,
I look kind of raw.
The creative process really is like, understand that there's a lot of thought and a lot of preparation in this, but then also remember that there's none.
I tell people a lot. It's kind of like it's more of a knowing and not really thinking as much. Like, because at the end of the day, thinking can get you only so far. It's more of if you have the inclination of just that you know what I mean? Then you like that. You could just get ready. You could just do it.
Right.
Like you could psych yourself out thinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
So would you say, like, I know you like to touch a little bit on like what Malik used to tell you about, like how we relate a lot of stuff to Star Wars, like about being the Yoda and having the Jedis and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that plays into the creative process.
Yeah, so he used to talk to me a lot about and this is Malik Youssef, you know, poet from Chicago, signed to good music, works a lot with Kanye. Just wrote on Beyonce's album.
Good activist too. Activist.
Quick stunt. Oh, look at that, my name on my chest.
With Leonardo and stuff too.
Yeah, good guy. So this is my big bro, and he, you know, when I was in my youth, so for like the past 7-8 years, I've known him, and you know, he'd always tell me like, Hassan, you know, always understand that you're a Padawan, a Jedi, and a Yoda. It just depends on what room you're in, you know. So you have to know how to be a chameleon and understand. Not chameleon. I don't like that actually. Let me rephrase that. Just adjust to the temperature of the room. So because I don't like the whole like being sneaky chameleon vibe, and like even what Jay said, show you how to move in a room full of vultures. Like that's cool because like you do need to know how to move like that. So I do like that line. But like mine is more just like temperature based. So like I can tell from the mood ring of the room of like, okay, just out of respect, which one am I? You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't like being the Yoda of the room. You know, I want to be the dumbest person in the room all the time. If I'm not the dumbest person in the room, I'm nervous because then I know people want something from me. So I try to stay in as many rooms as possible where I am the least informed, the least resourced, and the Padawan of the room. I love being in that position. That's the position I am most comfortable in.
Yeah, it's like with great power. What's that Spider-Man quote? With great power comes great responsibility.
It's just scary. It's scary when you're the Oz.
It's like working. It's like being an entrepreneur or working for a company. You know, when you work for the company, you kind of got. I mean, you could just collect the paycheck at the end of the day. You don't have to be crucified like the owner of the company is gonna get.
Right, right. So I definitely appreciate Malik explaining that to me at a young age, and I you know,
that's something. Not because I feel like a lot of people think they always got to be the biggest and baddest when they enter a room, though, too. You know what I mean? And it's humbling yourself to learn a little bit is super valuable.
Super valuable, and it's like I said, it's my favorite position. You know, is to be learning, man, and seeking, you know, what I seem to think is the truth. So yeah.
So when you create a process, do you feel like how are you always what position you play all three positions then?
Yeah, I think at times I'm all three. Absolutely.
Like,
I think I've been probably Jedi Padawan more than any. I don't know if I'm Yoda to anybody really, but I don't know. That's not really for me to I don't think speak on, but I don't know.
what are the before you start a project, what are the I guess I should have wrote questions down. Damn. Well, do you want to discuss the project you're working on right now? With with installations and all that, or?
Yeah, it's called God Forbid.
Well, they could get Walking on Water right now. Is God Forbid's out too, right?
No, Thank God for God is out. Thank God for God.
It's on iTunes.
It's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, you know, all the shit. Apple Music. Walking on Water's on my SoundCloud, which is just my name. And then yeah, God Forbid is coming soon, and God Forbid is basically an instrumental album, a 9-minute movie, a gallery tour that we're going to be going on, different tour dates with this gallery idea. You know, a couple of sponsors I can't speak, but they're going to be backing it. Yeah, and then I'm going to also do like a version with vocals. You know, if anyone gives a fuck. But the instrumental one's going to be the one that we promote. It's going to be dope. And
go ahead.
And but I am putting out a version with vocals, and that's gonna be the one with me and Sahai. It's gonna be on there. I'm gonna put that on there. It's a new version. I got a new verse, a third verse. The beat is different. Then a couple other joints, some new joints. I got a video dropping on Kanye. I'm not gonna say that yet either, but it may or may not be on Kanye's new blog that he's putting out. And that's gonna be called Lay Low. And so yeah, a couple cool things.
The installations, is it going to be around California area? Do you know what like any parts for sure? Like
yeah, right now we only got two. One tentatively, one at Beats by Dre office, and one.
Where's that?
Huh?
Where's that? Well, that's going to be private, right? Or is that going to be open to the public?
I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be in LA, Culver City.
That's in LA? Okay.
Yeah, Culver City. And then downtown LA at a warehouse gallery.
Is there should have wrote down some questions, but we freestyling. It's all right. Live stream number 2. So, but is there anything else you want to give the people before we go? What's that Nardwar question? Why should people be fans of you?
He says that?
Yeah, you always ask everybody that at the end of the things, I think. Pretty good question.
Why not?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Really?
Yeah, they say that, or they'd be like, they're like, you don't have to be. You can just choose.
Oh, well, then let me think of something better. Hold on.
Well, I think why people should be... Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Why don't you tell people about... Because I did a lecture on dissolving fear one time. And you do this, and I think this is worth bringing up. You go and do shows where you perform... You literally make the music right there on stage with the MPC, right? Is it with the MPC?
Well, no, one of the last shows I did,
like you say, people would curse at you and try to kick you out of it. That's all. So go into that a little bit, because that takes bravery.
Actually, let me be honest with you. The last 3 shows that I did have actually been really, really good, and I'm thankful for that. But a couple months ago, I did do a show where I literally made like 6 new beats the night before. And I woke up that next morning and I was like, I really like these beats. And I have some ideas and some references in my head, but instead of recording them on the mic, which I usually do, I said, I'm just gonna try them out live. You know, and kind of just like act like I'm recording in front of people. So I basically performed 6 beats that I just made the night before that had no lyrics and no songs to them, and kind of just vibed and referenced in front of everybody. And people didn't like it at all. And I'm sorry for that. But you know, I don't know. I woke up.
Like when a comedian will do his set and he knows he might bomb, but he's just kind of like, you know what I mean, he's testing the crowd out, testing to see how it would work. But it takes a lot of bravery. Like I said to you, like, why'd you do that? And you kind of gave you remember the response you gave me?
I don't remember.
You said you're gonna die anyway.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like don't let people like pump fake you out of your shot. You know, people might laugh and be like, "That's a bad shot to take." But this is the shot that I take. This is where I am comfortable shooting the ball on the court. It's like don't let people pump fake you out of your shot. You know, if that's your shot, and you know you feel comfortable shooting it, shoot it. You know, if you miss it, you miss it. But at least you shot. You know, and that's more than a lot of people can say. A lot of people walk through life and they don't ever shoot. They don't ever shoot. And you know, you can say whatever you want about Hassan. You can say I'm annoying. You can say I'm overly persistent. You can say I'm, you know, cringeworthy. You can say I'm corny. You can say I try too hard. But you ain't never gonna say I ain't shoot. You ain't never gonna say I ain't shoot. I'm Kobe in this bitch. I'm shooting until I retire. So, you know.
I think the Gretzky quote is, "You only miss the shots you don't take," or some shit like that.
That's it. Straight up, man. Because it's like, I can't live with that. I could live with a missed shot. I can't live with not taking it. No way. Can't do it.
I remember I interviewed Big Sean, and he was like, the worst thing that could possibly happen to somebody is to be, he's like, I go back to the hood and I see these old timers and they're like, man, I could have did that. He's like, you don't want to be old and saying I could have and never took the shot. He's like, at least try. And I think Jim Carrey said, he's like, you could fail at something you don't want to do. So why not try and if you're going to fail at something that at least you wanted to do. And if it don't work out, it don't work out. But
100%, 100% true.
What's your links, social media, Twitter, Instagram, so people can follow you?
Just Hassan Thank God on Instagram.
And then Twitter is just your name, right?
Everything. This got everything in Instagram. Just go to Instagram and you find everything.
All right.
Hassan Thank God. Just easy.
Viewers jumping up right when we about to wrap up. I'm not in it. No, they just went down. All right. All right. So, any last words?
We'll
wrap it up. I think this shit's about an hour so far. So
you my man. You my brother from the crib. We got some.
Well, touch on this real quick because I think a lot of people, because especially with the name of the brand and everything, people think a lot of it has to do with psychedelics and it's all about drugs and all this shit. You're sober, right? Like you've never taken a drink, never smoked before.
Correct.
And you want to tell them? I don't know how much we could reveal. How about all right? Let's just say Kanye passed you a blunt one time, right? And you said it was the hardest thing to turn that down.
Yeah, it wasn't hard to turn down. I mean, that may or may not have happened. I don't know, but that's number one. Number two, it wasn't hard. It was just an interesting moment to be put in. Anything, right? Not just him. Anybody of like, you know, that you look up to or something like that. You know, it's like just an awkward position to be put in or whatever. But Yeah, I don't think it's so much about like it's so much about.
I just want people to know that you can be sober. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of drugs are abused nowadays, man. Like big time. I mean, food's a drug.
Yeah.
So I mean, anything's really a drug. But
I mean, just whatever's your vibe, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you
everything in moderation, even moderation.
Yeah, like honestly, I know people, a lot of people that I love and care for. If they didn't do drugs, I would hate them.
Yeah, but so I know from
I think it's actually very important. There's some people that I know that would actually be very bad to the world if they didn't do drugs. They would be like they would be what's it called? Menace to society if they didn't do drugs. So I'm all for whatever it is to keep you calm. Like I said, if you want to worship the lamp and it keeps you calm to be good Samaritan, do your thing.
I know from like, I know you and I know my brother both have been sober and don't really abuse the temple of their body too much. And I've noticed you guys are two of the biggest attractors, manifestors of things that I know. And I think it's because you guys stay clean though, honestly.
Wow, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I mean, right now I'm over here eating Swedish fish, which is the worst drug known to man. So I do need to get better.
I think cheese is the worst drug, man.
Cheese is bad. I just ate steak for the first time in 5 months. I have a splitting headache right now talking to you.
Damn. All right. So on that, we'll wrap it up.
No, I love talking. I'm just saying, you got to be careful because it's not just marijuana, cocaine, and alcohol. It's candy, cheeseburgers, and soda, is equally as harmful.
Well, I was telling somebody, I think the biggest tool to keep people stuck in the matrix is actually food. Because I'm going to talk about it later on, but I fasted for 4 weeks one time, no food, very little bit of water, barely drank water.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that, talk about being like Aladdin and just manifesting things. I would like think about it. I would see a girl on Instagram get in the car, drive, and look over to me, and the girl's in the car. The girl I just seen on Instagram is in the car. I'm like, this is crazy.
Praise the Lord. Let me tell you something. In closing, man. In closing,
that light look crazy.
Yeah, it do look crazy. In closing, create the life that you want to live. You know what I'm saying? Create like you just said with the Instagram, that's a blessing. That's beautiful. That's exactly what should happen. You should think about it and it should happen. You can literally create the world you want to live in, and you should continuously. It's not easy, it's very hard, but you have to create the characters that you see in your life, and then you have to believe it so much that it actually they appear. If you really think about it that much, it will appear. It's true. It's magic.
I think that's the best closing that we could possibly give.
I just also remember, always treat yourself. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go get a Martinelli right now, which is sparkling apple cider. Sometimes you gotta treat yourself.
Yeah, because we do deserve it, man.
You deserve it. Let me tell you something. If anyone ever tells you you're not a winner, you were the fastest sperm and you made it to the egg. You were born a winner.
That's what I'm saying, man. Khaled's the 2.0 of you, man. This is the longest closing of all time to any podcast. But yeah, I was gonna say you should maybe give him a beat before we completely close out. You got a beat? I wonder if it will sound good.
Nah, it probably won't sound good. But I'll give you a rap.
Yeah, because Cam closed on a rap.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a rap. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Thank you to anybody that's still watching this, or it's gonna watch this later on, and then anybody that's still watching, basically, yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you very much. Let me give a rap.
Formulated streams of all time.
Let me think of a rap.
I'll write down any questions.
What's a good rap?
Give them the one with the Nas bar and the pillars.
No, I'm tired of that rap. What's the new rap? Diet Sprite. Yeah, she loved the limelight. That's it. That's it. Diet Sprite. She loved the limelight.
All right.
Diet Sprite. She loved the limelight.
I wish I was able to edit. Throw the Sprite in there and shit.
That's it.
All right, so you're do you know when the date of the installations might be?
Man, I wish I did, man. We getting closer though, man. It's so hard to put the business. It's so hard to get the business together, the creative together, and the music together, and the installation together. It's like 6 different jobs, and I'm so blessed to have so much help and so many people supporting it, and it's still fucking difficult. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm not selling nobody no dream and saying you can just do it, because it's hard, man. I've been blessed and anointed, and I have people that do stuff, and I don't even know why they do it other than just God, and it's still hard. So yeah, you need, there's a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces. And anyone who ever tells you a 5-year plan, tell them go fuck themselves, because Instagram didn't even exist 5 years ago. So how could I tell you what I was going to be doing 5 years from now, and Instagram just pops up out of nowhere, and now people are making $10,000 a month off Instagram? So you never know. There's so many moving pieces that in 5 years you never know what's going to be available.
You gotta live in the moment.
You gotta live in the moment, and that's what we talked about today in church. Martha and Mary. You know what I mean? Martha was all worried about the 5-year plan, and Mary was all about living in the moment, living in the now, being. You gotta be. If you're not being, you're not a human.
So, and then when installation's ready, they can obviously just check Instagram. They'll find out the date.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go crazy, and we gonna, you know what I'm saying, Lord willing, our management, everyone, we're gonna send it to Fader and Vice, and you know, you'll hear the actual music for the instrumental album. Well, hopefully that's the plan. So hopefully there's gonna be a huge press out and blog, you know. So there's a lot of steps to it. We got to get the music right. I'm in the last steps of getting the music right. Then we got to blast that properly, do some articles and publications about that, and then we got to finish the film. And then we have the film. That's where we're gonna play it at the gallery. So, you know, we're getting some sponsors. We're getting some good people to come in and help sponsor it and help, you know, add some cool elements. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like a Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? So we got to get all the dinosaurs together.
I just watched that yesterday.
Of course you did.
Yeah, that's how it works. You said something else earlier too, and I was like, I think I had like just watched it or something. I was like, nah, same shit all the time. Synchronicities. You're on the right path. All right, so uncommonshamans.com. Hassan, thank God.
Instagram, yeah.
Twitter is Hassan Khaffaf, I think.
Yeah, everything's on the Instagram.
All right. So everybody, thank you.
That's why I'm most lit.
and we'll do this talk again, obviously, when your installation is about to come out.
No, we need to do it every week. This needs to be the podcast.
I mean, we can, because obviously you see, like we were talking about help help is good. I should get you on here with Cam. I mean, might as well just have it. We could get it where there's like 4 people on the screen.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's start doing a podcast, bro. Let's start. You know what I mean? I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it because I'm not even We're freestyling this shit. I can't believe anybody. We still have viewers. That's fucking nuts. But all right. So we'll figure the next one out. All right. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank y'all. I'm sad because I'm ready to keep going, but
should we extend it a little bit further?
Nah, it's probably good.
Yeah. All right. That's a good part to end right there.
All right.